Yeah, there's just a little bit I wanted to say about this tune. The way we distribute the parts with Joey and Kermit and myself, it's a very simple idea, but it's where each person sort of has their own rhythmic space. The melody is happening, it's very slow, and it's always right on the one of each measure. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's, couldn't be simpler than that. And then there's just these three elements that we use, really. The bass line is on the off beats. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, like that. So the combination of the melody then there's also like sort of a right on beats 2 and 3 is like just a chord. So 1, 4, 1, 4, 1. So when you put it all together, I don't know if I can do it by myself, but it's each. So there's 3 players, and we sort of each have our own little area of space. It's all very tight, but we all have our own little area that we're in, so it gets this kind of back and forth stuff going on. A lot of times Kermit will play 2 of those parts, or who knows what I'll do, or Joey, I don't know. He's out of his mind, so we never know what he's going to play. The trio with Kermit and Joey, we've been playing together for so long now. It's just an incredible luxury for me. It almost feels like I can just play. It's like I'm alone. I mean, it has that kind of freedom.
These guys are very loving in the way they listen and they embrace your ideas, and we give each other room and space. So I think that carries through.
I just try and keep thinking all the time, like just to listen, sometimes to decide to compliment a sound that, Kermit or Bill, or a sound that I hear coming from both of them. And sometimes I just decide to go against it I'm not sure what it will bring, but the main thing is just to keep thinking and keep moving ahead, not to sit in one place.
lot of my music comes from these little pieces. I like little scraps of things that I put together. And then for arranging these tunes, many times I'm thinking. That's not true. I was going to say I think about who I'm going to play with. When I'm actually writing, I'm not thinking about that. But after the tune is finished, then I think, well, I wonder if this would sound good with Kermit. And then I look at it and say, oh, Kermit could play this and he could. Well, with the groups that I play with, I think the most enjoyment I have is when all the roles are blurred, right? Where there's not a. Of course, sometimes there's a soloist or there's someone out in front, or one thing is more important than the other. But it's very interesting for me what happens inside the music, the inner parts and the accompaniment. Even if a person is playing what would be considered a background part or a bass part, or they can find their own way of interpreting it, and that's what's really exciting. Even if I write it a certain way and then someone sort of finds their own way of playing it, that's really exciting for me. I wanted to talk about the difference between playing with this trio and then my new quartet, where there's violin, trumpet, trombone, and guitar. Texturally, it's much more dense, and it's a lot more to navigate around with what I play. I mean, I have to be more. I can't just play anything I want, because there's a lot of other instruments. It's just a kind of a bigger sound. It's also rhythmically it's a challenge without having bass and drums. Like with Kermit and Joey, there's this really strong rhythmic force there all the time, and I can, if I want, I can go against it or float over the top of it, or I know that thing is there. Whereas with the quartet, it's a much more delicate situation with each, or there's a lot more responsibility with the rhythm on each one of us to keep it. I say it's delicate, but I'm hoping that group can also have a rhythmic kind of a power without the bass and drums. But that's a challenge, and it's a new group, so I'm trying to learn. We're all trying to learn how to play together.